So today we are going to discuss about introduction part of the topic. So what is Power BI? Why we are using Power BI? These things I'm going to discuss today. Power BI is data analysis and reporting tool. So analyzing data, creating different types of reports. These are comes under Power BI activities. So now why we are analyzing data and creating reports? Decision making purpose. For example, you are working with some client. Client has given some data to you. So you are going to analyze the data, create report. Then based on your report, client can go for decision making. That's what happens. Right? And so in this scenario, data related operations you are going to perform. Suppose you don't have data, you cannot go for data analysis in the report, in the same report creation also. Right? So data is the base for the process. Right? And so what is the database? What is data warehouse? Then what is Power BI? Those things I'm going to discuss today so that you can understand it easily, right? So now, generally what happens, we are going to store data in the form of databases. Of course, we can also store data in the form of file system also, but maximum what happens, we are going to store data in the form of databases only, because a lot of reasons there, like security issues, performance issues, right, storage related issues. So because of all these reasons, we are going to store data in the form of databases maximum. Okay, but remember, these databases are OLTP databases. OLTP means what? Online transaction process. That means anytime you can connect it to this database and you can modify data. That is the point. Okay. So now, because of these issues, modifications. So every time what's happening, data is going to modify. Because of that reason only, on this type of databases, we cannot go for data analysis. For example, you are starting data analysis. Meanwhile, data is going to modify. Right? Then what happens? You cannot finish your analysis. In the same way, you cannot complete your report creation also. But we need data from the source, because you are working with some client, means your client is going to store data in the form of database system. no doubt. But we cannot apply data analysis and we cannot create reports directly from the data sources because they're OLTP environment. So OLTP, every time data is going to modify. That's why we cannot. So coming to next scenario, what we are doing, we are going to work with a separate environment where user cannot modify data, right? So now this environment, we call it as data warehouse database. And this is OLAP environment. OLAP means what? Online analytical process. Right? In completely different scenarios. Data sources are OLTP, data warehouse are OLA, online analytical process. So in this scenario, initially what you are doing, you're going to copy data. After copying data, it becomes non-volatile. Non-volatile means no modifications allowed.
Sir, can I ask something?
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, what is the meaning of OLTP?
Online transaction process. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So after copying data in data warehouse into data warehouse environment, automatically it becomes OLAP, online analytical process. In the same way, non-volatile environment means no modifications allowed. So we already discussed. So we need data, but it's like, static, means no modification. So that easily you can complete your data analysis and you can go for report creation. That's what the data warehouse database. Okay. Now, what is the difference between databases and data warehouse means? Databases, OLTP, data warehouse, OLA. That is the only difference. Okay. And coming to next scenario, the tool, whatever you are going to work, that is Power BI, is purely data warehouse tool. So how Power BI is data warehouse? Let us see. For example, here you have Power BI environment. Initially, you are going to copy data from source to Power BI environment. Okay. So after that, you are going to perform different types of operations, data analysis related operations. So, see, what are those operations? Initially, copy data, transform data, DAX data, visualization creation. So these are the major parts we are going to work in Power BI development. See, copy data, transform data, DAX operations, these are all purely comes under data related operations. After completion of the data related operations, you are going to create report. Visualization means what? Report. But it's better to maintain clarity in copy data, transform data, DAX data. Because generally when we are talking about these or those operations, we feel like data is going to modify. No, that's not correct. These operations are not going to modify the data, right? And so in this scenario, better to discuss clearly about these things. For example, copy data. Suppose here I have some table products and I have 10 rows of the data in this products table. I'm going to copy same table with the data from source to Power BI. Right, guys? So in this scenario, just plain copy operation you are going to perform. Whatever the data there in the source, the same data you are going to copy from source to Power BI. That means it is not going to modify anything. Am I right or not? Okay, na? Nothing is going to modify here. See, and here you can ask some questions. So why you are talking about the table? The reason is in data sources, maximum data sources, databases, and RDBMS databases. RDBMS databases, you can store data in the form of only tables. There is no other facility. Okay. Even in Power BI, you are going to copy data from source to Power BI, right? In Power BI also, data stores in the form of database tables only. So now, next step. That is the reason why I'm talking about tables. Next step, right? Initially, you copied data. For example, you have some table and a data. You copy table and data from source to Power BI. That's it. So it's not modifying anything, right? In the same way, what happens? We have some table here. For example, products. So in this table, we have some column sales. Suppose you're going to perform data from source to Power BI, but there is some requirement. Requirement is if sales amount is greater than 3,000, then only copy it. Okay. Sales amount is greater than 3,000, then only copy it. Otherwise, don't copy. That is the requirement. So I'm writing some condition, for example, see that. So I'm going to copy data and I'm writing condition like that. Sales amount is greater than 3,000. So what happens? Same data, whatever the data required for you, like a product table will be copied and sales amount column will be copied. But the thing is, only greater than 3,000 sales amount of data is going to copy. Is it going to modify anything in the database? I mean, Power BI, nothing. Just you're writing some condition because you're going to perform some data extractions. For that, you're writing some condition. Condition satisfied data is going to copy from source to Power BI. That's all, but you are not modifying anything there, right? Okay, now? See, this type of operations comes under transformations. Right? So why we are using transformations? To bring the data into required format. Otherwise, whatever the data required for report creation, you need that data only, right? You are going to copy that data only, right? Even for that also, we are using transformations. But transformations are not going to modify anything in our Power BI. Right, guys? Next step, for example, you copied some table from source to Power BI environment. Okay, fine. Now you are going to create some report. Okay, now you have monthly sales amount but you are going to create some report. For that report purpose, you need yearly sales amount. What? Because you don't have yearly sales amount here, right? You have only monthly sales amount. Then what? In this case, I'm going to work with some calculation. Sales amount into 12. 12 month sales amount. Yearly sales amount. So by using that, you are going to create report. But what you are doing here, calculation. How you are doing this calculation? By using DAX functions. What is the purpose of DAX? Means calculations purpose and conversions purpose. That is the purpose of DAX functions. Right? And calculations purpose and conversions purpose, we are going to use DAX. So is it going to modify anything? No, nothing is going to modify. Remember, see, you are working with client. Client will give you data. You have to work with that data only. But you cannot go for your own modifications, right? Okay, na? So data warehouse environment, Power BI environment, we are not going to modify anything. That is really important for us. That's my point. So now coming to visualization. Visualization means that is not data related. Visualization is completely different concept, right? And because initially you are going to work with the data. After that, you are going to create reports. See, logic, please try to understand. Initial operations always related to data. No doubt in it. Why we are doing all these operations, copy data, transform data, why we are doing all these operations? Because of report creation only, right? Okay, na? So to create reports, we need data. We need data. The data purpose, we are doing these operations. That is the point. That means in Power BI environment, you are going to work with data related operations and report related operations. Two types of operations you are going to perform. Data related operations and report creation. Don't forget this point. But if you want to create report, you need data, right? That proper data is required. How you are going to get the data? Proper data. So that we can do by using copy data, transform data, DAX data. And here we have to discuss some other points also. When I'm giving demos, like some people ask me, like, sir, do I need any prerequisites for doing this course? Yeah, we have some prerequisites. What are those prerequisites? SQL queries knowledge. So you take copy data, transform data, DAX data. Where you are going to apply these operations, you are going to apply them on your data, whatever the data you are copying from this source, and that only you are going to apply them, right, guys? So these are all coming from SQL queries part. Okay. So if some people says that if you know basics of the SQL, that is enough for Power BI. I don't think so. Okay. Basics means what? Basic queries. Okay. But that is not enough for Power BI because even joins concept, advanced SQL developer concept, and joins concept also we are going to use in Power BI. Okay, na? Correct? That's why my suggestion is it's better to go for queries, learn queries. But you know, for that you no need to go to any other institute for SQL queries part, because that is also part of our training only. In this training only, we are going to work with the queries, SQL queries also, right? This. So after finishing SQL queries, we are going to start working with Power BI again. And coming to next scenario, two more scenarios I want to discuss here related to this training clearly. Gunshot points. See, what are the tools we are going to learn in this training? The tools are initially SSMS and SQL Server Management Studio. Now you can ask questions, sir, is it SQL training or Power BI? Right, guys? Okay, now, with the general doubt it is. Give me 1 second, please. 1 or 2 seconds. 1 or 2 enough. Right. Now, coming to next scenario. Management Studio belongs to SQL Server. Then why we are working with SQL? I mean SSMS. I already told you. Maximum scenarios, right? We are going to copy data from SQL Server source node. Maximum, no doubt. And that's why better to maintain some knowledge in SQL. SQL queries part, that's why I'm going to discuss in this training. Then desktop tool, Power BI desktop. Maximum, you know, in Power BI development related operations. For example, copy data, transform data, DAX data, report creation. So these are major operations, right? Okay, na? These operations we are going to perform by using Power BI desktop only. Next, Power BI service. So after finishing development, we are going to publish our projects from desktop to service. Because from Power BI service only, we can share our work to customers. From Power BI desktop, we cannot share work. In the same way, we have some other concept called as report builder, Power BI report builder. This is also used to, it is also used to create reports only, no doubt. In the same way, we have mobile app also. We have Power BI mobile app also. Even that also we are going to use. Right. So now coming to next scenario. These are the different tools we are using in Power BI development. And the major areas we are going to concentrate on SQL queries, but very much required. Right. And so copy data. Then you have to concentrate more on transformations. This is really important for us. Then DAX functions, data analysis expressions. After that, a report creation. Okay, these are regular scenarios, but along with that, you have to concentrate more on dashboard concept. This is very, 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 very important. What is dashboard means? You are going to collect different visualizations and you're going to keep them in the same page. That is dashboard. See, for example, you take your car, dashboard will be there in the car, right? So whatever the related things there, we can keep them in the dashboard. Then it will be easy for us to access, right? Right. And that is the point. Dashboard creation. And coming to next scenario. Okay, sir. These tools we are going to learn. Major areas also we are going to concentrate. Fine. But any real-time scenarios? Are we going to discuss any real-time scenarios in this training? I'm going to assign you project 1 and project 2. These are the assignments I'm going to give you. Right. In this, what we are doing, I'm going to give you some use cases. Use cases means what requirements. Of course, I have given solutions also. You have to practice. I'm not going to explain project. After finishing training at the ending, almost we are at the ending of the training. In that time, I'm going to assign you projects. These are like assignments. You have to try. If you try It works okay. Otherwise, I'll explain. Don't worry about that. But initially, I'm not going to give you any scenarios from project. You have to, okay, practice. So these things. So if you're going through these projects, what happens? You'll get some knowledge. I'm not saying you're going to get complete knowledge of the real time. It's not like that, but definitely you're going to get the process, how the project is going to work. What is the project life cycle? Deployment pipelines, those things I'll discuss in the training part only. Don't worry about that. Okay. So subject important. After that, real-time process is important. Process. So these things we are going to work out. Clear? So now tell me, any questions related to this training? You can unmute and talk to me, or you can send message also. Please go ahead. I finished introduction part. Whatever I'm going to give you in this training, I finished. Now your questions. I'm waiting for your questions. No questions, sir. Right. See.
Sir.
Tell me, please.
Sir, I am having zero knowledge on SQL. I'm very new to SQL. Without the knowledge of SQL, can I go ahead with the
No,
queries?
you're not going to work with queries directly, because I'm going to explain queries part also, right? Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
This training only, I'm going to discuss queries. Mostly from this weekend onwards, we are going to start working with queries part. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Hi, sir. I have one question.
Tell me, please.
Okay, so as you said, right, we are going to learn SQL also. So the question is, how much time we are going to spend on SQL and how much time we will be spending on Power BI side?
Overall, it takes around 5 weeks for us, right? Sometimes little extension will be there. I mean, little more time. But SQL part, we are going to work with around 1 week. Okay, now queries part. On top of that, I'm going to give you some SQL materials and assignments also. Databases also I'll give you for practice purpose. There, if you are facing any issue with SQL queries, again, we'll concentrate on that area also. Don't worry about that. Okay, na? But complete SQL Server developer is not required for Power BI. SQL queries part is required. That's why we are going to work with SQL queries part, right? Okay, right, Param?
Sure. Because I'm more interested on Power BI side. And I have another question. So do we require any license and sync for this Power BI, or it's free?
No need. It's free version available. We can download it and install. Okay, na? Even SQL also trial version is there. We can download and install trial version.
Okay, because I have gone through like it is required $10 for per user, and also
that is license.
We have some less feature in a free version.
The issue with the free version is space issue, but you are not going to work with large databases, right? Okay, na? So no issue will be there.
Okay, thanks, Suresh. Thanks.
Right. Any questions? Anybody, please? And this is continuation class only. So today this is demo session, right? Class number 1. I'm going to start tomorrow. Okay, na? So like that, class 2, class 3. First, we are going to discuss introduction part of the Power BI. So that you'll get complete idea. you're going to get complete idea, and in the same you you'll get clarity why we need SQL Server for Power BI. You'll get that type of clarity also. That also we are going to see from tomorrow onwards, right? After that only, we are going to start working with the BI environment again. Okay, na? Right. Right. Any questions, please?
Sir, SQL Server, how much time taken?
Around 1 week, I'm going to discuss. If more time required, definitely we'll do that. Okay, na?
Okay, sir. Sir, is there available any SQL Server means video PDF?
If you want, I can provide you SQL Server previous classes videos. No problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Any questions, please? Okay, na? Right, guys. Then we'll meet tomorrow. Same link, same time.